Everybody's here. I didn't see, that's what it was. I didn't see everybody.
It's dark.
So, we're gonna get this stuff rolling. We're gonna talk about some fun stuff. We're gonna do some neat things and have all the fun that we can possibly have to kick off the month of October. But I want to summarize October, or September as this. We had a pretty outstanding month, all in all.
Yes, we did.
We had a really solid month. I know from the leadership team, we're really happy with the goals that we accomplished. And I hope each of you had a solid month as well. Because September is a great month to kind of get things started again in our business. So with that in mind, let's get on with our meeting. Get things started now. What are we doing this month? Well, today, you stuck with me. I'm sorry, it is the me show. And if you've ever been here when it's the me show and Jamie's not here, you get one show. But if you've ever been here when Jamie's not here and Olivia's not here, ooh, baby, we are going for a ride. We're going to have some fun today. Steve, I know you have a direct line right to Olivia, but none of it. All secrets today. What happens in here stays in here. Next week, we got Jana coming. And if you've never had the chance to meet or talk with Jana, I would encourage you to be here. Jana is a fantastic agent, been in the business a while, an incredible life she's led. And it's always fun to talk about it. I tell you, when I get the opportunity to drive out to Marshall, it is like going to grandma's house. You just feel comfortable there. She makes you feel comfortable. She's a wonderful person. I go out there to solve her problems, and we end up having, she starts talking to me, and all of a sudden, before I know it, she's solving mine. So, fantastic, super excited to talk to her. And she's gonna be talking about KW Capers, which is a big deal, and she is an ambassador for us in that thing. The following week, if I'm not gonna have a great meeting here, we're gonna have another great meeting right after it with Olivia, who's gonna be talking about, she's this lady. She's got a cool coat, so that's really all that matters. But at the end of the day, she's gonna be talking about where we're at, where we've been, and where we're going. And this is a great time of year for that, because it's October, we know that we start building our business for 26 right now, is when that starts. And it continues for the rest of the year, so we can hit the end of this year strong, and the beginning of next year even stronger. And finally this month, we're gonna bring up two of my favorite people. My favorite people, the agent services team. They're clearly excited by that.
Yay,
Gin
and tonic, yay.
Gin and tonic, as I like to call them. We got Grace and Toddy, G&T, gin and tonic. That's where they are. And you can tell that they're gonna have a great meeting because they use like a 70s spot. So that's how you know. That's how they set the tone for you by telling you what to expect. So, fantastic month ahead for all of us. Really excited to be bringing this stuff. As you know, our purpose is to serve agents and impact lives. And as a leadership team, we feel very strongly that if we serve you appropriately, you can multiply that efforts to all of your clients in a way that impacts them and yourself and your families. And that's so important to us because that's the bedrock and foundation of what we do. That's our purpose. Our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. Thank you. You guys know that. That's what we talked about. That is our mission, and we work on that every day. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for. There's no reason to be doing what we do if those things aren't the result. Play of the week. As you know, we give the play of the week every week in a way to recognize people who are doing outstanding things here in the Market Center, with their clients, or with their community, in a way that we can advertise them, so they don't have to advertise themselves to their clients. Because it's really weird to toot your own horn. Now, I'll be honest with you, I've met a lot of realtors, and there are some fantastic realtors at tooting their own horn. They're really good at it. You probably know some. None of them in this room, and none of them are your friends, and none of them work at this brokerage. But other agents at other brokerages really good at tooting their own horns. But we think it's important to recognize those around us who do a great job. And Scotty has been such a great giver of time with her commitments to the ALC, the different programs that she's in, teaching classes on finances and things like that. I want to recognize her for the outstanding job she has done over the last time period. So let's give a hand for Scotty. The impact that she has on her is tremendous. tremendous. They must have, these are the ones who didn't know Jamie wouldn't go beat it. They saw it there coming. But I want to bring up my good friend Melissa to talk about all kinds of, most important to me, free stuff.
I
Now, it's not free
know.
lunch, but it's close.
Tomorrow is.
Where's the welcome song? Oh, it doesn't feel the same.
You know.
Yeah.
Makes
What is the
sense.
walk-up song?
I don't know, something about free. I love free things.
I love free things
I
that
love
cannot
free
lie.
things
You want
that
There you go.
All right, everyone, please pull up your phones. I want there to be no reason that you all are seeking CE when it comes to next June. This month, there is literally almost 17 credits of free CE that you guys can be getting. There's nothing better than free. So I'm gonna go over it really quick. Many of them are at SPAR, 2 of them are at KWPR, but next Thursday from 8:30 until 10:30, we're doing our brand new transaction coordination company, who you guys have the option to use, is coming in to talk about risk avoidance and optimizing your process, and that's 2 CE credits. Then on Friday, you can head out to Bayport. SPAR is putting on a 3.5 CE credits from 9 in the morning until 12:30 related to environmental topics. Then on Monday, held at SPAR, especially for those of you who are new to the business or who may be thinking they're not utilizing the North Star MLS well enough, you can learn how to do CMAs in North Star MLS. That's 2 credits from 10 a.m. until noon. On Wednesday, 2 more classes at SPAR. Again, more things that you can learn about. RPR is a great tool and resource, and if you're relatively new in the industry or just want to utilize your free services better or your services that are included with your dues, and that's from 10 in the morning until noon, and then later in the afternoon from 1 until 2:30, tools to think outside of the box. Then Branch Home Inspections is going to be here at KWPR. They're teaching 2 classes on Tuesday, October 21st. They're from 9 until 10 and 10 until 11. Those are things you can identify at showings. Also learning more about chimney inspections and sewer scopes. Then on Wednesday, October 29th, again held at SPAR, again a better way to utilize the tools that are included in your membership, and that's North Star Tools and Beyond, and that's 3.75 credits. These are so many free CE classes. If you're not taking advantage of it, you're just not a sales shopper like I am. But if you don't want to get ready and go to these classes, have no fear. There's also free on-demand CE classes that you can be taking right now. With your Realtor membership, there are 3 classes that when you log onto your state portal that you can get for free. We have a code of ethics requirement that's starting this year. It's cycle 8, and there's 2.5 CE credits for that. The required module that's going to be due in June is related to contracts, 3.75 credits, and also fair housing, 2 credits. That's pretty incredible, right? You guys can get all of your CE done, so no excuses for not having it complete. Any questions?
Can you go backwards?
No excuses.
There are no excuses.
0.
I mean, you wanted to take a picture of this one?
You need to go back one. That one. Thanks.
Yeah, good.
So the ones that are happening here are Tuesday, October 21st from 9 to 11.
Yep.
And the page before that, there's one coming up on Thursday, October 9th from 8:30 to 10:30.
That's right. Make it easy. Come here.
Can I just share a little plug for getting it done early?
Yes. I love that.
This past June, I was in Banff, Canada, doing my CE in the hotel. And then 2 days later, we went to see our friends down in Arkansas, and I was at a lake home on the deck doing CE.
Oh, that's awesome.
Beautiful
Don't do
views, but that's not exactly
Don't
what
do
I
that.
should have been doing.
Thank you. That's an excellent plan. All right. Thanks for listening.
Free.
Tech update, yay, fun. I'm wearing so many hats today, I'm just coming up again. Hey, here's the tech guy. What's his song? I don't know. Career night, February 20th.
Haha.
Career night, February 20th. Everybody come.
We're really planning for that.
I messed that all up. I left that in there. I didn't get around to it today. Jen, I don't think Lisa's here today, but if you want to come up and talk a little bit more about this, I'd love to talk about it with you.
She's a superstar.
There should be some music coming. There's no music, but there's music. But Jen, as a member of the culture committee, and Lisa are planning a big event coming up. And we want to talk a little bit about that, so you know a little bit about that. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on?
So it's the Mind, Soul, and Goal Retreat. It's all about like setting goals for 2026. And there's gonna be a period of about 4 hours in the morning where we'll do just kind of some self-reflection and self-inquiry and think about, you know, like goals we wanna set for our lives. And then we're gonna have charcuterie and food and beer and a bonfire and all that. And Jason's gonna help us with our goals for our businesses for the year, and we'll kind of tie those together. So our business goals are supporting our personal goals. It's just gonna be a fun day. So you can stay overnight if you want, or you can just come for the day. Yeah, $199 a person. So it'll be fun. Yeah, and just like don't underestimate the importance of bonding with your colleagues.
You know, we're gonna talk a little bit later about business planning and how to use AI to do that. And that's neat and it's useful, but creating a whole package and taking the time to really reflect on it and really build a solid business plan is a huge part of setting goals for yourself and making your next year successful. So this is a great way to do that and get that done. And if there's beer and meat, I don't know what other else you could eat.
And fire.
Wine and fire.
And fire. Well, now we've gone crazy.
Now we're just.
Beer, wine,
And
meat,
fire.
and fire. That sounds amazing. You can't eat better than that, and somehow you come out of it with a business plan? That's amazing. I'm not sure what the
Jason.
plan is gonna be, but I'm pretty sure this is a great way to do that. And there's that again, but we have a neat little video that we can talk about that talks a little bit about the Mountain 10 part of the process, which is in the morning.
Hello, KWPR. I'm Julie Zeruba-Fountain, founder of Empower Possible, and I'm excited to share with you a little bit about the Mountain 10 experience, which will be part of our upcoming Mind, Soul, and Goal retreat. This retreat is a unique opportunity to celebrate the successes and progress you've made over the past year, as well as taking an honest look at some of the goals and dreams you haven't quite achieved yet. Our journey together follows a two-part process. First, we'll reflect on what went well over the past year, and then we'll dive into what might be missing in your professional life and how to navigate the inevitable changes that come with growth. Personal and professional development here is not just a bonus, it's a powerful driver of success in your business, your family life, and your personal well-being. This includes recognizing obstacles and discovering practical ways to overcome them. The Mountain 10 experience will guide you to listen deeply to your inner wisdom in your authentic voice, amid the noise of external demands and information. Through this guided process, you'll find renewed clarity and direction for the year ahead. This retreat is designed to help you clarify your core values, integrate your insights and dreams, and build confidence in your own experience. You'll leave feeling empowered to live and lead in alignment with your true self, embracing change with courage and authenticity. As one participant shared, "Thank you. This inspired me to take action towards caring for myself." I look forward to journeying with you to uncover the vision that calls from within and to set purposeful, achievable goals that honor both your professional ambitions and your whole life. Take care.
Todd, do you know how are you involved with Mountain 10? How do we get Mountain 10 involved with this?
I actually know Julie. We've been friends for a while, and I helped her buy a house, and so she is just a really inspiring, fantastic woman, and she's really involved in the Mountain 10. I haven't gone through the process myself, but
You will now.
it's pretty powerful, I guess. So yeah.
You will now. So let's give a big round of applause for Jen coming out here. For those of you who don't know, or maybe seeing Jen up here for the first time, Jen is a fantastic member of our ALC, a very high-level realtor, and
I don't know what.
a member of the culture committee, and this is the first time the culture committee's branched out to doing something like this. So I think it's really amazing that our agents are doing these types of experiences and giving them to us. And I'm excited to be there, to be part of it, so. we will-
Jason, this is Lisa. I'm on Zoom.
You are on Zoom!
I am on Zoom, and I just wanted to thank Jen for doing this for me or stepping in since I'm out doing showings. But I wanted to tell everybody, don't forget, it's not gonna suck. So sign up. So sign up.
I don't know if you can get a better endorsement than that. In fact, at the end of the meeting today, if there's a little bit of time left over, if each of you could find somebody else in the office, go to their Google business page and give them a 5-star review that says they're not gonna suck. I think that would be a great way to commemorate that moment. They are not gonna, don't do that. Review, just don't tell them they're not gonna suck. All right, my good friend Tati, where's her music? I don't know how to sing that song, but yay, sing songy.
Dance moves.
That was good.
Here we go.
Hi everyone, I just wanna let you know I prepared better than I did last week. Okay, anyway, Mega Agent Mastermind is happening today, at 12:30, okay, that will be in here. We have a Shift book club coming, and it's gonna run from October 14th through November 18th. It'll be at 1 p.m. and it's going to be in the training room. It is going to be ran by Melissa. And this is a great thing that you can invite some guests to, and maybe introduce them to brokerage and get them involved in Shift book club. We also have the Twin Cities, sorry I hit something. Twin Cities Agent Summit is coming. Grace, is early bird pricing still happening or is it over?
It's over now, so the price is $199.
Okay, price is $199. Again, I know we've talked about this, the region needs people to go. They worked really hard to get some really great people there, so the day will definitely be packed with value and will be worth your time. So make sure to get signed up for that. We have Win with Buyers. I want to read this little caption on there that Jamie put. I thought it was really nice, Maria. You have 33 years worth of top strategies. That's nice.
That's what I'm.
No strategies for holding a pen, but 30 years of top strategies to help you win the fire.
33 years. That's a lot of experience. Okay, October 7th from 9:30 to 10:30 in the training room. And then a little bit later this month, we have Kyle Cross coming and he's going to be talking about how to get 10 listings a month. And that's on October 16th. And then, we've gotten a lot of questions about this. We have the CE Blitz coming back to KWPR. It'll be hosted by Mike Brennan from Minnesota Realty School. The price is $165. You'll get lunch both days. All of your CE credits can get knocked out in 2 days. We are going to compare the classes to what we've had in the brokerage the last 2 years and make sure that they're not the same. So if you've taken the CE classes the last 2 years here, just know that whatever classes that we offer come January will not be ones that you've already taken at least through us.
Somebody is gonna ask, and I'm gonna spare them the asking. Can I just come one day?
Nope, you can.
There you go. Now you know.
Yeah, you can come one day.
Plan for
You can come
both.
2 days. And it is gonna be January 19th and 20th, which is a Monday and a Tuesday. It'll most likely run from about 8:30 to 5, 9 to 5-ish. There's gonna be a break for lunch, you'll get lunch, and yeah, you can get it all banged out in 2 days. So between Melissa's classes and the brokerage hosting the CE Blitz, there are no reasons to be doing CE at a beautiful lake house.
Sarah has a question.
Yes.
Will it be, I'm assuming it'll be Mike.
It will be Mike. Last year it was Mike and then,
Let's say Mike and friends.
Mike and friends. Yeah, that's what it will be. So keep an eye out. We don't have a sign up quite yet for this, but just kind of a little save the date and know that we're offering it. Okay, awesome, thank you.
There we go. I need somebody up here to hold a sign, so pause, so we know. Sometimes you don't, I mean, you don't know what she's done, it just kind of ended abruptly. But then we gotta sing Brian's song,
We know his
Sonder. He got it, we're just warming up, we're getting better every single person, every single time.
He's funny too.
What you got there?
There we go. So there's been a lot of talk over the last couple of weeks about the Fed funds rate cut. And so I like to show a history of interest rates every once in a while. And this actually compares the long-term 30-year fixed to the Fed funds rate. Oh, see? Digital pointer. Just use this once in a while.
Well, stick to it, buddy.
Don't take that home with you.
Yeah. So Krista likes to talk about back in the 80s when we were up to 18%. So the green is the 30-year fixed and the blue is the Fed funds rate. In general, the funds rate runs about 1.5 to 2% below the 30-year fixed, and that'll tie into something coming up. But basically, since 80, we had a 40-year drop in rates until 22-ish, and we bounced up pretty quick to where we are right now. All right, hopefully we're not doing that for another 40 years. I don't think that's gonna be the case. All right, so this is basically the last year, September of 24, the current. And as you can see, what's the Fed gonna do? Well, we've got people making millions and millions of dollars analyzing, crunching numbers. They pretty much know what the Fed's gonna do before the Fed does it. And so it's already baked in. And so when the Fed actually announced it, we had the rates even bumped up a little bit because for the month and a half prior to that, they did come down. Beginning of the year, at 7%. By the end of the year, we'll be talking about 5 point something. And up until a month ago, we were not seeing that at all. So.
The gap is growing, is that what I'm seeing there?
Okay, so.
Because my understanding is this is your fault.
Your fault.
I just want to point out
That's gotta be a Jamie thing.
that he ain't here, he's still cranking.
Yes, he is.
Because this is your fault, that this is growing.
So, as you can see, the rates didn't drop, okay? The Fed funds dropped at the end of last year, and it's been flat until we just had the drop. But the gap hasn't closed. Right now, the gap is 2.4% between the Fed funds rate and the mortgage rate. So in theory, if they're normally 1.5 to 2%, there's room for them to drop just to get back to the Fed funds rate, the normal gap, if that makes sense. Let's see. So also then rate cuts typically happen in a series. All right, so on Thursday is going to be a big determining factor as to what happens the rest of the year. There's 2 more meetings. If the jobs number is weak, we'll probably see 2 more rate cuts from the Fed this year. If the job numbers are strong, we might not see any. So Thursday is going to be a big deal coming up here. Tomorrow.
Wake up, get your
Tomorrow.
popcorn, be ready.
The 3rd, so what is that?
That's Friday.
Friday. Okay. All right. Couple real quick things. So the conforming loan limit is increasing from 806 to 819. Hopefully you have a lot of deals going in that category. But the previous year it had bumped up 80 grand, and the previous year it had bumped up 80 grand. We were in this, 650 3 years ago. So that's slowing down, and maybe I'm sure it goes off of the average something. So it wasn't a big increase. I talked about this previously, but first generation home buyers. Minnesota Housing got 50 million, and a new company, community development first generation got $100 million for the state of Minnesota. Minnesota Housing is a well-oiled machine. This first community is just brand new and they're trying to figure it out. They have funds remaining, but they shut her down because they just can't handle the volume, the applications. I believe it's year to year. I don't know if this is, it's being used, so maybe it will be regenerated, new funds will be appropriated for next year. I don't know that there's any guarantees, but if you do have somebody that should be a question you should be asking, because there's $35,000 of free money available if your customer is a first generation home buyer, or they've had a foreclosure in the past, right, which
They had one or their
they
parents?
previously had one. If their parent had one, they still could qualify. All right, and so this is something just regarding the shutdown. Your conventional loans probably aren't gonna be an issue, but if you've got an FHA loan, you're not gonna be able to get a case number. You can't get flood reports if your property is in a flood zone or flood insurance. IRS tax transcripts are gonna be a problem to get. USDA, you're not even gonna get new loan commitments, nobody's working on them. So, you know, if you got buyers and you've got FHA government type programs, you know, you're still out there, what the last government shutdown was a month, or, you know, was that 6 years ago maybe? 7 years ago? I don't know if I'd anticipated going that long this time, but maybe more so if you're a listing agent, you've got an FHA offer coming in, or, you know, a government loan offer coming in.
BA2?
Pardon?
BA2?
Yep, BA2. There could be issues. You know, if you're 2 months or 2 weeks from closing, yeah, I think you're gonna be okay because all those hoops have already been jumped through. But, you know, brand new offers 3 weeks out, you know, there might not be an FHA case number on your deal yet, and suddenly you can't get it. So just something to keep in mind, if you got those type of deals. Yes.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question totally off of all that topic, but it's conventional? So railings, you know, spindles, do conventional appraisers call out the distance, or is that only FHA?
You know, I don't know if I've ever seen it called out on a conventional, but if it's a hazard, it would be. You know, if they,
Any cities that require
Yeah.
inspections will require it.
yeah,
I know,
Truth
random.
truth in housing or city compliance.
Question, comment? Question, we're all talking interest rates. Interest rates obviously have a factor. Is it as large of a factor as we would all like to hope? Or is the other white noise gonna hold things at bay even if the jobs report says it's weak and the rates come down? Comment, Canada was at 6.5 forever and they've dropped to 4 on mortgage rates and their real estate market is still low. Does that make sense?
well, so back to the bond markets, the stock markets, you know, this is all baked in. If they are seeing, you know, if, I don't care what the Fed does with the rates, if the US economy is taking off, I mean, there's an inflationary fear, rates are gonna go up, I don't care what the Fed does. Likewise, if it looks like the economy is gonna be struggling, well, then typically rates will drop, no matter what the Fed does. But the Fed is kind of following along what's going on in the market, so if they're dropping rates at all, they're trying to spur on something, meaning maybe the economy's slowing down.
Okay. Magical crystal ball that you don't have then, is what I heard you say?
Although Fannie, I was on a webinar, and Fannie is anticipating rates in the 5s next year. That's anything for you.
You know, Lisa Brainer's voice just popped in, like the man behind the curtain. Maybe we could ask her. Maybe she's got a crystal ball.
I'll wait for her to check in.
Good question,
Thank you.
Chad. Good question.
I did,
That yardstick.
That yardstick.
Going back in the office.
he's sticking with it, he knows the rules, sirs. So, I'm not Jamie, I'm trying, I'm just trying to pull up for Jamie. I did get an update from Tony Zerwas. The VA loans are made by private lenders and are backed by the Department of Veterans Affairs, so they are not currently being impacted by the government shutdown. So, good news for VA lenders.
Nice.
And if you ever, Tony's really passionate about that, so he can be out there on that. So, want to talk a little bit about Compass acquiring Anywhere, because it impacts us. It impacts our friends, our peers, and the people around us. Jason Abrams, he works at Keller Williams, and so does Chris. They're fun people, and these are the information that we have about this kind of thing. But it's an all-stock transaction expected to close in the second half of next year. Who's Anywhere? It seems like they're everywhere, but it turns out they're anywhere. But they're Century 21, Coldwell Banker, ERA, Corcoran, Sotheby's, International Realty, Better Homes and Gardens, and Cardis. Anybody works for Cardis? I don't. But Compass also, and Christie's, International Real Estate, and PAC-U. So a lot of different companies are being acquired by Compass. Market response, Compass stock went down about 13%. Mark wasn't super excited about this transaction. On the other hand, if you were at Anywhere, it went way up. So this is a better move for Anywhere as far as they're concerned. Anywhere has always operated as a house of brands kind of thing, and they allow the individual brokers to set more of their specific things. It is expected that Compass will allow that to continue. Wow. So what does that mean for agents out there? And when I say agents, it really doesn't impact us specifically, but it does impact people we know in the business who might be our friends, our peers, and sometimes people we care about. But it does create uncertainty. And for them, this is an uncertain time. I've been with companies that have been purchased, and even if everything is slated to stay the same, that doesn't mean that it does. There's always redundancies and changes. And if you are engaged in that and you are being acquired, it can be very uncomfortable. So as people in the industry, we just want to be knowledgeable about that. I'm not saying anything bad's going to happen because we don't know. We don't have that crystal ball. But we do want to be in a place where we are listening and receptive to our friends and peers in the industry. And if they have questions, concerns, or problems, we'd love to help them out and explain how we can help them out in the future. We will remain the largest real estate company by agent count under one flag. We are built on clarity, consistency, and developing people, not managing brands. That's not what we do. What we do is what you do. And you are our champions, not the name on the sign, not the thing that's out there. So we can change it all they want, but at the end of the day, you are our stars. And that doesn't change anything. So, business planning, 2026, we move forward. So, what do I need to know right now? Compass is spot anywhere, which means those agents are now technically working everywhere and nowhere at the same time. This is your chance to be the friend who says the market may be unpredictable, but your brokerage doesn't have to be. Join the flag that doesn't waver. And finally, we're keeping it simple. One flag, one family. We know exactly who we are now, we will be exactly the same people in the future, except we will be better. Because every day we get better. Every day we get better. So, any questions about this that I can answer? Not being a financial expert, not owning Compass stock, or any of those other Anywhere brand stocks? Nope, I didn't think so. Good, because that's the part of all of the things we talk about when we're talking with our clients, say, I'm not in the tax business. You'll need to refer to a tax attorney if you have more questions about that. And that's exactly what I would have done right here, had you had more questions about that. So, let's move on to Jason, who's going to talk today about business planning. And you know that he's going to talk about this because he's super passionate about AI. You know that he's going to want to come up here and talk about that because business planning is a big part of what he believes in and the foundation of everybody's success. And so when he gets up here, he's going to say those things. But I think he's having a problem with the suit, whatever it is he's supposed to be wearing. So I'm just going to take over for him and handle it. We're going to do a couple different things. I want to review the basic prompts that we can use AI to help us make a business plan. These are really basic prompts. I'm going to pick on my friend today who happened to show up, Riley, because I practiced some of this on her last week in class, so during our PC class. I won't pick on you too much, but you know, that's how it goes. The next time she won't be here because she's afraid of being picked on, but that's how you teach it. And then we're gonna do it. We're gonna do the work. We're gonna get in there. We're gonna dig in a little bit. We're gonna have some fun. We're gonna make fun of Jason because he's crazy and he's a good guinea pig for all this kind of stuff. So, business planning. When I hear business planning, and I sit in these kinds of classes in these rooms and all this stuff, I go, oh, God, business planning? I mean, I get it, but man, come on. How am I supposed to know what's gonna happen next year? How am I supposed to be able to predict any of this stuff? How am I supposed to be specific enough to make it work, but not so specific that I get messed up right away? How do I do that? Sometimes it's too vague, sometimes it's too specific. Sometimes, especially your first thought is, if I'm gonna use AI, it's gonna be super cookie cutter, wouldn't it? I mean, how do they know? Well, that's what we're gonna talk about today, using it to make it customized and personalized to you. Because business planning can feel overwhelming. That's why you go to a retreat and you get beer, wine, and meat to get it done. So that it's not overwhelming, right? And wine, right? Maybe there'll be whiskey. When I say maybe, what I mean is if they're in, I'm bringing my own. But we wanna have the right approach to this, because entering next year without a business plan is like sailing your ship without a compass. And if we know the Market Center Pirate is gonna talk about stuff, not without compass, but without your compass. You get a compass. They just stole that. So why would I use ChatGPT and not my own brain? Well, you know why you wouldn't use my brain, but why you might not use yours is this could save time. Right off the bat, it's super efficient. But what you may not know is it can actually personalize your plan to your strengths and your goals. And that's why it's super important we talk about that. The other thing that happens is it helps you think bigger, right? Because you can have a conversation with a computer and not be worried about offending its feelings. And it will have a conversation with you and not be worried about offending yours, right? And that's important because sometimes we have these crazy things that at Williams we call limiting beliefs. And we are big on them. We love to have them. Our brain likes them, but in the end, they're not helpful in building our business. Additionally, ChatGPT and other systems like it can help you see blind spots that you maybe haven't thought of or addressed in the past. And that's important. And, I love this one, keeping you accountable to your systems, not your dreams. Okay? Because systems are the bedrock of what we do. At our base level, it's our systems that determine our success, not our dreams. I mean, we have big dreams. We have a system to back it up. So, how do you create your prompt? Super tiny. All the letters are really tiny, but you need to start out by talking about who you are, how long you've been in the business, what your personality or working style is. For some of you who've had the opportunity to come to one of my AI classes, you know that I've taken all my personality tests, all the ones I can get my hands on, and I've put them right into ChatGPT and said, this is who I am. Let's deal with me in the future this way. And then if you're really silly, you might ask it why you're a pirate. But you're not that silly. Only I do that. But what it helps me do is it helps me figure out things that are unique and presented in a way that I'm going to listen to. And we'll see that in just a few minutes. What are my strengths? Or sometimes my weaknesses. And if I put those things in there, that's super important. Hey Riley, here's where you get picked on. Do you like making calls to clients?
Not entirely.
Not really. There might be other people who feel the same. I might feel the same. I might strongly feel that that's not something I like doing. On the other hand, I might be Chad or Krista, and those are my bedrocks, right? So my plan needs to focus on what my strengths are, and in some cases, avoid those things that I'm weak at. Now, on the other hand, Riley, would you like to go out in the neighborhoods and meet people?
Yeah.
Now, I gotta be honest, there's somebody in here going to the neighborhood and meet people? Not in for that. Using ChatGPT to personalize this plan is super important. So, the first thing we want to focus on is who we are. And, perfect example is, I'm a third-year realtor in the south of Minneapolis. I'm an extrovert who loves events, but struggles with consistent prospecting calls. And y'all know that ain't me, because I ain't an extrovert. But I do struggle with consistent prospecting calls. And somebody else in here, who I have to help really with their business sometimes, they don't like them either. So I get it.
I was barely listening.
And that's a word to the wise. When I see you not listening, coming right to you. All right, next thing, where do I work? What are my locations? What are my submarkets? Are there a price point focus or a particular type of client that I like to work with? Or niche specialties where I particularly feel really strong. Krista, for example, loves to work with seniors. Maybe she doesn't love to, but she does, and she does it really well. I don't really know, I've never explored that particular dimension, but I mean, I know she does do that a lot. Or Chad, for example, it's like the king of Northfield, right?
Yeah.
He's like, no, not the king, I'm kind of like the Jack, I don't know what the right thing is there, but those sorts of things, and I want to put that in there because I want the system to personalize it to me. And so an example of that might be my focus is Lakeville, Minnesota, mostly first-time buyers, and move up families in the 350 to 600 range. Now this is all going to be part of one bigger problem, but we're breaking it into smaller parts, right? But this is an example of figuring out where you work. Next thing we want to do is, believe it or not, we got to tell it what we want. And that sounds pretty obvious, but we have to tell it what we want and what our goals are. And those might be units, GCI, or volume, or all of the above. You can be as undetailed or as detailed you want. The more detailed you are, the better it's going to do with giving you specifics. And you have lifestyle or balance goals. Do you want to have more vacation? Do you want to spend more time with your family? Do you want to have less burnout? Do you want to have all three? Right? Do you want to move to Tennessee right now? Because winter is coming and you don't want to be part of it. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And what are my long-term brand and wealth goals? My 2024 goal is 24 units. I want to do 6 million volume, and I want to take 2 weeks off in the summer with my kids. Now, anybody who's writing that doesn't have kids because they don't want to spend all 2 weeks with their kids. That's okay. 1 week is fine with kids, and 1 week is fine with everybody else. That's 2 weeks. And we can put that in there. Or maybe you're like me and you want to say plus taking 10 weeks of vacation with myself. That's okay. That's part of your plan. That's the cool thing about your plan, is it's your plan. And if it's not your plan, you're not going to get it right. And the cool thing about making your plan and why that retreat that I keep coming back to is super exciting and super important is you're going to start out by investigating yourself a little bit. And investigating yourself is a key to making the plan that works for you. Now, you can investigate it all on yourself, all on your own. You've probably done it before, but it can be super helpful to kind of re-examine that. This is a great time of year for that. So how do you work? This is an important question. How do I actually work? What are my resources? What are my constraints? Everything in the world at some point in time is a trade-off. I can do 150 things, really small, I can do one thing really big, or I can do 75 half. Wow, nothing on half. Nobody chimed in with asks. All right, how do you work? Budget. What are my marketing? What are my staff? What are my systems? How am I going to use these things in my budget? What's my time availability? Maybe you're a new agent just getting started, so you already have a job and you have to figure out how to do this in half the time, right? I'm a dual career agent. Maybe you're like Ro back there and you have 17 jobs. Four.
It's 15.
15 jobs. All right, there you go. And that's what I'm talking about. You've got to build this to you because that's how you follow it. If you don't tell it you're working 15 jobs, it's going to think you're working one. Well, that's okay whether it's 15 or one. You just get to choose. What are your support systems? Are you on a team? Are you a transaction coordinator? Do you have a transaction coordinator? Are you doing a solo? Is Grace doing your marketing for you? Whatever that is, let it know, and the more you let know, it helps. And how are your tech skills? Are you comfortable with social media? Maybe you don't. Maybe you don't even have an Instagram account. Let it know. On the other hand, if you're like Riley, you prefer door knocking, hey, dig in, man. That's amazing. She's like, I don't prefer it, but I mean, I like it, it's okay. But an example, $500 a month for marketing, don't have an assistant, and I prefer face-to-face over online ads. It's pretty straightforward. And finally, what makes you tick? What makes you tick? Why are you in this business? And we've talked, and almost every time I come up when I talk, we talk about what's your why. Understanding your why is such a critical part of your motivation process in your life that if you understand that, you're half the way to the finish line already. That is such a driver. And if you tell it, It will help you stay to that. And one of the examples I'm gonna give, and I'm gonna jump ahead to an example that ChatGPT gave me, and you probably all heard of this, and you're gonna think the same thing. You've probably heard of a first-time homebuyer seminar, and the sound of it just makes your skin go, ugh. Because to me, that's what it sounds like. Now, I stand up here all the time, give presentations. I don't have a problem with it. I'm pretty good at it most of the time. Not on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, but other days. And it would seem like that's a natural fit for me to do, a first-time homebuyer seminar. But knowing ChatGPT, knowing what it knows about me, knows that I like to take complicated ideas and distill them down into their simplest efforts, and their simplest pieces, so people truly understand what it is. And so what ChatGPT came back at me with the other day when I was asking it for a way to generate leads was, have a home demystifying purchasing experience. Well, tell me more, ChatGPT, what is this all about? If you like connecting with people and making things simple, the biggest barrier most people have once they get past the money, and that's a real barrier, is that seems really complicated. It's a lot easier just to stay in my apartment. It's a lot easier to stay in my house and go out and buy a new house. So my angle, being somebody who likes to take complicated things and make it simple, is to host an event that focuses just on making it simple. Now, all of you are going, well, that's really just the same thing. Here's the thing, it isn't. It isn't because I'm passionate about making this simple. I am not interested in explaining you how to buy a house. And I don't know why those two things are fundamentally different, but I assure you, when ChatGPT told me to host a home demystifying purchasing event, it's a little bit better language than that. But when it said that, I was like, wow, I could do that. If it had said home buying somewhere, I'm like, come on, those things never work. And that is an example of including your why and what motivates you into getting true answers. I'd have never thought of that. It's super simple, and that single little twist means that when I advertise it, I'm excited about it. Versus, my home buying seminar again. You know, that kind of thing doesn't work. So the more information I give it, the better it does. Personal details, family, things like that, side businesses, hobbies. It knows that I enjoy being a pirate. It absolutely knows that. ChatGPT can't wait to talk pirates, and I can't wait to talk pirates with it. But when we're in there, it's super helpful. So an example is, I'm in real estate to create generational wealth, but also so I can coach my daughter's soccer team without missing practice. It's important. Is it important to you to do stuff with your family, Melissa?
Yes, it is.
So it would be important for your business plan to accommodate that, wouldn't it?
Sure would.
It's so simple and yet so complicated, because when you first start down and write your business plan, you're not thinking about that. You're thinking about, I gotta sell 64 houses, and I gotta make 8,000 calls, so on and so forth. But by the end of the first quarter, you're like, I'm not there. Because I'm not doing all these things, because I didn't really even think about all the other things in my life as part of this plan. And so what makes you tick is an important part of the process. So here's a whole little deal. I'm gonna take this little KWPR talking out of the way. But I'm a realtor in the South Metro with 3 years in the business, focusing on families and first-time buyers from 350 to 600K. I'm outgoing and strong at open houses, but weak at consistent prospecting. Yep, that's me. I'm not big on that. How many times have I said something about being consistent versus being perfect? About 150. I would consistently say that, but consistent prospecting, not on my list. For 2026, my goals are 24 units, 6 million volume. Still take 2 weeks off with my family in the summer. $500 a month for marketing, I work 40 hours a week, currently have no assistant. Please create a 2026 business plan with quarterly milestones, GPS and 411. I don't have to tell it what those are. It's gonna figure it out for me. KWPR, love that. Lead generation breakdown, weekly schedule, and accountability suggestions that fit an extrovert who thrives on recognition. Now y'all know this is not mine, because I do not thrive on recognition. It is a straight lie. But if I did, that would work really well for me. Right? Does that make sense why we go that way?
Yeah.
Before we dive in, what kind of questions do you guys have about this process? Or why this is work, or why this is a good idea? Any questions? You know, love it, no questions. I've covered it masterfully.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
I use ChatGPT for a lot of things. you could take a picture of that screenshot, drop it right down to ChatGPT, and of course that's specific to somebody, I don't know who that for, but you could drop a picture in there and it will read it and it'll do everything you need it to do. You don't have to do all the typing either. And if you pay the $20 a month, you could get more bang for your buck.
That, I love it, I've got an ad going.
Quick question, you're doing all this with ChatGPT, we get Gemini Pro through KW.
Yep.
Do you recommend we use ChatGPT versus Gemini Pro that we're getting, or?
I use ChatGPT more than I use Gemini. They have their strengths and weaknesses. I will tell you why I use ChatGPT, and you can choose to use Gemini, but I have a question here, and I think this might be interesting or relevant. Go ahead.
What's Gemini?
What is Gemini? Gemini is ChatGPT if you work for Google, and Google provides the same resources. So as a Keller Williams agent, you have full access to free Gemini. Gemini Pro, is what that's called. So you have full access to that, which grants you better memory, better response time, things like that. So why do I use ChatGPT? It's because I'm a nerd. And when it comes to nerd nights, I write my D&D adventures. I like the ones that come out of ChatGPT better than the ones that come out of Gemini. So I chose to use ChatGPT. So if you are a nerd and you want to write better adventures, I'm going to strongly recommend ChatGPT. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, then either one is fine. But let's go. Let's take a look. We're not quite going to do Rose Point, but we're going to come pretty close. So I'm going to just take this, and I'm literally going to copy it and paste it right out of here.
Yeah.
Woo! There we are. And we're going to jump over to my buddy Chat. And I'm literally just going to paste this right in. This is a blank one. There's no background, nothing new, so.
Is this your account?
It is.
Okay.
That's me right down there. Okay. That's how you know, and you can switch it between multiple accounts if you have them. Don't have multiple accounts, you just confuse yourself.
Yeah.
Why would I have multiple accounts? Because I'm a nerd. That's what I like.
Multiple personnel.
That is why.
There it is.
That's 100% why,
Speaking
and,
truth over there.
and Chat and I actually have a lengthy conversation about the fact that we have multiple, that I have multiple, when I say we have multiple personalities. But let's see what it comes up with. When we hit that little button and we hit the go, go, go. So my big goals, 24 units, 6 million volume, 2 weeks of summer. That's protected time. My GPS, goal 24 units, 6 million while maintaining balance. My priorities and strategies. Consistent prospecting, systematized daily lead gen, 2 hours a day minimum, makes a sphere touches, open houses and social media, use Command smart plans and neighborhood nurtures. Did I say anything about Command? No. But it knew, because it said I'm in Keller Williams. All right? Marketing leverage, here's my choices, $500 a month, and it's gonna allocate that money for me. Tell me what the best spending parts is for that, 200, 150, 150, done for me. Client experience and referrals, handwritten notes for every client milestone, 5-star experience, request them Google reviews quarterly, client event, there we go, quarterly milestones. Not rocket science, so I'm gonna get 4 to 5 every year. Launch neighborhood nurtures for all database contacts. Hold 2 mega open houses. Mega open house, what's that? We'll find out in just a second, because I don't know. Book summer vacation dates and calendar now. I should do that by March. Gotta put it in there. Second quarter, close 6 units, because there's a spring surge. Don't be busier in spring. It knows that, even if you don't. First client event, add 60 new nurtures to the database. Do my open houses and ads. Practice and implement buyer seller consultation scripts. Sarah, who's gonna help me with my consultation scripts?
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT, I'm gonna hit this little button right here.
Sorry.
Hey, Chatbeard, I wanna practice a Ford script. Can you act as a customer to do that?
Ahoy there, absolutely. I'd be happy to play the customer for your Ford script practice. Just let me know who you want me to be and full set saying.
I would like you to be a first-time home buyer in Lakeville. You currently work as an assistant for a gal named Nicole Jelly.
You got it. I'll be your first time buyer from Lakeville. Just picture me as someone working for Nicole and excited but a little nervous about the whole process. Fire away whenever you're ready.
we can continue that process.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing about continuing that process is it's gonna give me feedback on what I said and how I said it. And I can ask it for that feedback, and I can get better. So, on that rare case where you've asked Sarah for help, and she says, I'm sorry, I have a showing to do. You can still get this done. You can still get it done. Now, I would prefer that you practice with somebody who's real, because real people add a different thing to it. But if you're new or uncomfortable in that situation, maybe a little nervous, computer's perfect. It's a great way to start. It takes a lot of the load off you. You get in there and get it done. So, we're jumping ahead to June lot in September. Closing 6 units. We have our second client event. We're gonna launch some video market updates on social, track and celebrate recognition, post every closing and review. Love it. And finally, we're gonna close more units at the end of the year because our process has been working, so we anticipate doing more business because we've been working on a plan that's helping us get in touch with people. By the way, Sarah, we had come up here last couple weeks ago when I was accidentally out of town, and you talked about the fact that you are exceeding last year's goals. Did you exceed last year's goals in January, or did it get better as the year went along?
Better as the year went along.
It gets better as the year went along because you had a plan and you were working the plan, and the plan starts working for you. So it gets better towards the end of the year. This is not weird, this is normal, this is how it works. Holiday pop buys, man, I love the fourth quarter. You can do anything in the fourth quarter. You can do anything in the fourth quarter because everybody's expecting it. There's no pressure. Show up to somebody and say, hey, happy Thanksgiving. This time of year, among all the times of year, Michelle, I was thinking about you. And I was thinking about a lot of my clients, and I just want to call and say thank you for being who you are. Because you're an amazing person. You're a huge part of this business. And without you, we wouldn't be successful. I can say that any time of year, but in the fourth quarter, whew, that just sings. It sings in a whole different way. Plan for 2027. Holy cats, I'm already planning to plan. Don't plan to plan, just plan. Get it done. And then finally, review my systems and explore leverage. At this point, I might need a TC or a VA, because I'm doing well. I've got 7, 8 houses closed in 3 months. I might need some help. I'm getting there. That's awesome. So my lead generation breakdown. We talked about doing lead generation. What do I got to do? It's actually breaking down that part for me. Sphere and referrals. 40% of my time in lead generation should be spent on sphere and referrals, and I expect to get 10 units from that. If I didn't get 10 units from that, at the end of the year, I might look at it and go, I'm not really good at this. I might need to get better. Open houses. I want to get 7 units over the course of the year from my open houses. Here are some things I can do. Treat as many listings. Oh, wow. Door knocking, neighborhood invites. Social media ads. 5 units, I want to get 5 things from social media. Again, I may choose, and we will in just a minute, choose to go a little bit off and say, hey, I don't want to do this. What else would you suggest? But that's a great example of some things we can do. What's my ideal weekly schedule? I didn't know to put lead gen from 9 to 11. It just knows that. That's when you should do it. If you don't think I'm right, think again. It's not always right for everyone, but that's an ideal time. Prep for the week, afternoon showings, social media and video content creation, team meeting. Look at that, doesn't know us.
It's the only thing it got wrong.
It's weird, but it's pulling from the new agent experience. So they have a meeting every Tuesday, and that's what actually it's called. Preview homes, script practice peer, appointments, open house prep. Because my open house is going to be on the weekend. Got to prep for that open house on Thursday. Friday, I'm going to go through and do my client care tasks, admin wrap up, schedule the weekend, open house on the weekend, Sunday. 1 swing by, check in with prospects. Spend some time with family, accountability and recognition. Here's what I'm going to do. Productivity coaching huddles, I'm going to do a weekly check-in, peer partner, public recognition, and my tracking tool. 40 hours a week, be consistent, be leverage. All right. So here's some of those conversations I just had that are recorded. And we are just about at the end of that. But I'm going to try one real fast thing and then open up for any questions. Because this is the real part that makes it important. What is a mega open house? I don't know what that is. I was curious about it. And yes, I'm not spelling it perfectly. Mega open house is essentially an open house on steroids. Wow, that's exciting. Instead of treating it like a quiet drop-in, you market a mini event that generates maximum exposure, prep the property, stage and shine, signage blitz. Lots of signs. You guys probably heard somebody does an open house presentation talking about 50 signs, or 20 signs, or 30 signs. All right, I'm in. Feature stats, info packs, market like crazy, social media, make it an event, systematic follow-up, mega house, open keys. Anything that I put in here, I do the same thing for. I just say, tell me more about the thing that you told me to do, and then say, I don't want to call a soul. What else can I do? So you're flipping mega open house as your primary prospecting. You can develop automated smart plans. Social media is lead gen, community presence. This one was a big one, and then we did this with Riley. This was a big thing where we pivoted because she didn't want to do that, and community presence was a big thing we spent a lot of time on, and we asked it for ideas. What can I do in my community? What are some other things I can do? How can I drive that forward? If you treat this like your secretary, I wouldn't even say that. If you treat this like your assistant, it will help you out in ways that are multi-dimensional. And the one thing I challenge everybody to do when you're working with it is ask one more question. When you think you're done, ask one more question. Why? How? Whatever works for you, but just one more question because you're going to get a lot more information out of it. Referral networks, accountability without calls, mail and pop buys. These are all fantastic ideas that might work for you. I just have to tell it what I want. And if I look even further, it's going to give you hints. Would you like me to build a no-call lead gen pan weekly that keeps you on track towards your 24 units? And if that's something I want, I just say yes. And it builds it out. Is it perfect? No, but it's way more efficient than the hours you spend trucking through this process. And where it gets great and golden is once it's done, then you can take time making it right, making it better, making it stronger for you, but it takes all the extra work out. I can copy and paste this all over the place. It's wonderful, simple, easy. And if you're worried about sharing information with ChatGPT, let me tell you a secret, your information is already owned by you. Don't fool yourself. You're not fooling anyone. It already knows all of it about you. And the problem is that everybody else, when I say everybody else, all the other businesses out there are profiting from your information. You're the only one who isn't. So share the info so you can win with it. What questions? Perfect. Jamie at this point would say something about lunch and eating cereal. So I'm gonna take that line from him. Their lunch is in the kitchen. There's cereal. I recommend the crunch berries because they're delicious. Also, Tasha has her the broker open tomorrow. Tomorrow, so we're super excited about that. So lunch is served tomorrow at Tasha's open house. So get there and enjoy it. Cool? Thanks for coming, everybody. Let's have a great week, and we will see you next week when we hear from. No, that's 2 weeks. Jan O'Reilly, next week. Jan O'Reilly, thank you, everybody. Mastermind at 12:30 in the training room.
How many socks did you get? Collected them all? Collected all your socks?
Oh, I haven't counted them.
Do you have them with you?
I have,
Did you bring them all with you?
oh, no.